I could change our world. And so could you. Now, when I say that, you might have a reaction like, no, not me, and I couldn't do that. I don't have that much power. I'm not capable, and that's where you would be wrong. And we're all wrong in that sense because every single person is born with the ability to make a huge contribution and change the direction of the trajectory of the world if we decide to do that. But it requires that we become vulnerable, that we become willing to ask questions and receive the answers and then act on them. And that means that you have something within you that you were meant to bring to the world, and it was probably supposed to happen now. We are moving through a change in our world that none of us have experienced. None of us have been through this, and so we have a lot of fear and anger and fighting and all of that because we like to keep things stable. We want to know where we're going, and we want things to stay the same. It's not going to happen. And you're going to decide how you are going to deal with that because you will do so great if you decide to become your authentic self. Because then you're not going to have any fear, you're not going to have any worry or doubt or any of that. You'll have the life that you want, you'll have all the money you want, you have everything. And if you decide not to do that, you're going to go through a horrible experience because it's going to look really ugly out there. That's what's going on. Because we come in to the world with our own individual paths, our DNA that we're supposed to actualize and live as we're here. No one is more important than another, except over time, throughout societies, we have tried to make others less so we could feel more. And it's in your makeup as well because we have all lived it. I wrote an article about 2015, and I said, the article that came to me, it says, I might be slightly racist with misogynistic tendencies. And what I'm talking about there, and I put in the article, is that we all have these biases that we come into the world with. They come from our families, our ethnicities, our countries, all of it. And then we have to decide if we're going to break free from those restrictions, because they're old, they're always old, and live the life that we're supposed to live. Live the life that we want to have. And that can only happen when we become willing to let go, move through our own limitations and restrictions. There's no reason that you could not be the person to make the biggest difference, change in our world, and have things be very different than what they are now. We all have that ability, but we don't do it. I didn't do it because we doubt ourselves. I doubted myself forever, and I moved through job after job, career after career, going, where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? And then I got there. So it doesn't matter when it shows up for you. Are you going to act on it? Are you going to do something with it? So let's talk about what's happening now, and I'm going to give you my take on it. Everybody else will have something different because we're supposed to. We're supposed to bring in our individual ideas and beliefs and put that together to create something better so our world evolves. And so what I started happening for me, first of all, you got to know, I'm almost 72 years old, so I've seen a lot of this. And my first president that I had a memory of that I was so connected to with John F. Kennedy. And I questioned, why is this guy having such a hard time? He's a white guy, he should be okay. But nobody was Catholic. You see, that was a problem back then. And so I didn't quite understand that. I go, well, aren't all people the same? No. We don't think that, and we operate in that way. We've been doing it for eons, and so we needed a change. And then I thought, well, why aren't women different? Why aren't women given everything that everyone else? See, I'm a young kid then, and I don't understand these things because it didn't make sense to me. And we're moving through that now. And that's why you're alive, because you're going to make a difference. You're going to make a contribution. And the contribution that you will make is if you decide that you're going to become your authentic self, because see, that self that you are is God-given. It's like this benevolent, loving, wonderful person. But you've been judging yourself forever. And that's what I did. We all do that because we have to work through that. However, when you start letting go of that, you start to say, oh, wait a minute. I'm a pretty good person. I've got all this stuff that I could do. And when you do that, you change the world. We change the world energetically. It doesn't mean that you're going out and doing things that are going to make a huge difference out there, but it's in your mind. And that is the work that I was given. And we have gone through these changes in our world many times. And one, you wouldn't remember, but there was one time in 1987 we went through a shift similar to this, but most people passed it. It didn't really make much sense. I kind of saw it, didn't pay attention to it. This one we're all going to pay attention to because it's huge. We've not done this. So it's going to be uncomfortable, as my guides told me. So in 2012, I was given all this information. That didn't make sense to me either, except now I see everything that I received is happening. It's here. And so the reason I was given the information in 2012 is because my guides knew that this period in the world would be challenging and difficult, and they wanted us to work through our individual issues, our individual problems, so that we can love ourselves and then put that into the world. And that's what changes everything. And see, that's my mission. That's what I'm doing. And when I doubted my program, I said, I don't know if could I be that person who received this? This is what we all do. Why do we think that we are not the ones? Why do we do that? It's because it's been programmed into us. Now, I can see very easily that my lineage would have had me believing I was this second-class citizen and I didn't deserve much, and so that would be problematic for me to then accept that I have something so valuable that I could give to the world and make a huge difference. Because, see, I know Martin Luther King didn't know that either when he started out and then named his son Martin Luther King Jr., that he would make that big of an impression on the world. That's what's happening. But we're at that place now. And so we each decide, are we going to do that, or are we going to still be afraid? Because those are going to be your choices. You're going to either go into loving yourself and realizing everything you've done has been wonderful and you just meant to actualize it now, or you're going to go into fear and it's going to be really miserable for about a year or more. Because that's how long it's going to take for us to move through this period. Many of you know that when I talked about my program, I put it out there, and I said I had to test it first, because that's who I am. But also, I had to get through my own doubt. I had to really look at that and say, how could that have happened? You are the same way. We were all given something. We just have to develop it and then start to believe it. And it's a process. And that's the process that I set up, to take every single person into ownership of who they are, because that's the way that you will soar through this time in our world. And also, more importantly, you're going to help change the world simply because you're deciding to love yourself. I know that doesn't make sense, but it's true. Because if you decide that you're going to love yourself, give yourself everything you want, including money, that's going to be huge. And that is also part of the shift that we're going through. We've had an inequality of money, wealth, and income in our world all over. That's why we have places where people are starving to death and others where people are just having all this wealth and not caring about the others. We're moving back to oneness, understanding that we are all the same. And when we go through those transitions, which is what we're doing now, it's challenging. And so the best thing you can do is decide to work on who you are, develop who you are, and start loving yourself. And that's the only thing that my work does. It's the only thing that I'm doing, because I know that if I can have more and more people who are loving themselves, doing good things in the world changes. And that's what I'm doing. So you've seen my program. I mean, you can check it out. It's going to open again on the 22nd because I decided I had to do, when I saw the what it's done to me and what it's done to my clients, I said, no, we have to go on for a year. And so that's what I've changed it to. So you can check that out. There's a link there because I'm going to be changing. This is a special offer that's happening until I open it on the 22nd. Because there's something that happens with us. We don't want to give to ourselves. We don't want to invest in ourselves. And I understand this because I did that for a long time. But I also know that I could see, wait a minute, why are the rich people still getting rich? The rich get richer and the poor get poor. Because they know that investing in themselves is going to make their lives better. And that's in their mentality. It's all mindset. But then the rest of us who have not had enough, or who have come from families or countries or places where there wasn't enough for all, we thought that was reality, and it is not. And that's why we're here to change. And so once you change your whole life will start to change as well. And we can all do that and create a better world. And that's why we are here. That's why you're alive now. A lot of people won't Understand this. You won't want to do it because I didn't do it for a long time. So no, it's not possible. That is, again, only mindset, and you have to decide if you're going to change it. I've created something that's foolproof. Nobody can fail at it. You just have to do it. That's all. And it's a wonderful thing for me, and it's going to be what I'm leaving. It's my legacy. But it took me going through all kinds of crap in my life to get to here. So you're not done yet, and whatever you have is valuable, and you need to own it now so that you feel secure in every single way, and you'll get through this period really, really well. See you soon.